to the Athletes in Motion podcast, from race to recovery, with your hosts, Tom Riegel and Kenny Bailey.
Hey, Kenny, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Tom, how are you?
I'm fantastic as well. We are coming back with Brandon Gibson to talk again. Like, we're just finally catching up with you. It's been months, Brandon. Yeah. We had, as part of our triathletes journey, we've been going through a crazy year. Everyone's been going through a crazy year. We're trying to catch up towards the end of the year here and wrap up a little bit. So we get Brandon. We're excited because we know Brandon always has some good stories. And I think we left Brandon last. We did the 70.3 in Chattanooga. Which was interesting.
Yes, it was very interesting.
That's right.
Broke some spokes.
What happened after that? You needed some surgeries after that, right?
Yeah, I ended up having a hernia. With my history of my medical stuff, I ended up having a hernia close to one of the surgery sites. That was pretty bad. Had a surgery in June. It was a kind of a minor surgery. It only lasted about an hour. They went in and did some sewing of it up, and we were hoping, praying that it was going to work, and it lasted for about 4.5 weeks.
Wow.
So I was planning
huh?
Yeah. Wow. So I was planning on Louisville was out of the picture because originally I was going to do Louisville and then North Carolina.
Yeah.
And Louisville was already canceled, so I had a few sprints in between that surgery and North Carolina that I was going to do. That all went away. I mean, in early August, actually about 5 days before RiverBluff. I think RiverBluff was August 11th. I think is what it was.
Somewhere around there. Yeah.
It was actually August 11th because my surgery is August 12th.
Yes.
The next day.
I think that's where I saw you. I saw you at the race.
Yeah. Yep. So, and 5 days before that, I was in the hospital with a bowel obstruction from the hernia. It had gotten even worse on the other side and caused a bowel obstruction. I was in the hospital from, I think it was Wednesday to Saturday.
Wow.
RiverBluff was Sunday. I didn't tell my doctors I was going to go to RiverBluff. Went and did RiverBluff.
Oh my God.
The sprint. With the hernia, I was just, which I don't recommend, but
anybody listening to this is not do this. So.
I didn't know what was going to come of the surgery, to be honest. I didn't know how bad it was going to be. Yeah. This was because he was like, we have to do it now. We have to do it Monday. And then you're out for 3 months after that. So you're not doing anything for 3 months after that. And at least 3 months is what he said. It wasn't just 3 months.
Yeah.
And so I did RiverBluff and didn't PR it or anything, but I did good. I didn't do my worst. I didn't do my best.
Getting across the line at this point is just, congratulations, dude. So.
Yes,
and it was, and I got through it. And, the next day I had my surgery, kind of got an earful from the surgeon because he's like, you did what? And then the anesthesiologist,
he knew I'm sure he looked and went, hey, this got worse overnight.
The anesthesiologist was the one worried about it the most because of my electrolytes and things, which was actually kind of crazy. And then she had to take blood, and they took blood, and then she comes back and goes, you might be the most hydrated and well electrolyted up person there is in the whole hospital. Yeah. And I was like, well, probably because I drink a lot after, rehydrate and stuff. So you kind of bulk yourself back up with stuff. And so I ended up having the surgery. It was surgery number 30. I had a milestone on my surgery. So, it was one of the worst ones. It was just for a hernia surgery. It was a 7-hour surgery.
Wow.
Very long. I mean, there's heart surgeries that are shorter than that. So it was a 7-hour surgery. But they fixed it. I mean, they fixed it right. I really shouldn't. It is a 99% success rate with the way they did this. They pretty much blanketed it with a block of mesh, and there's really no way for the way they have to sew it up and everything. There's really no way for anything to get around it. But with that came a lot of pain afterwards, and dealing with that. So I was in the hospital for 12 days, the old epidural and all that for 7. And I've been resting. I rested up until, I guess it's 2 weeks ago. So yeah,
no kidding.
Wow.
The 7th, I think, is when I saw the surgeon of this month, and I got cleared, and I went for a run that afternoon. So,
which is better than me. I cramped up my calf like a mile and a half in. This guy's got months of hernia surgery, and he's out running.
Oh my God!
So
yeah, and I ran and talked to Sarah, and she already had me a plan that starting that Thursday, and I just went with it, and I've been pretty much going since, and I'm at that point where I'm tired. Like my body's actually fatigued.
Yeah.
Feels good, doesn't it? Like a different kind of fatigue
and I kept saying that while I was in the hospital, and everybody's like, you just need to heal. And I'm like, I just want to get back to being uncomfortable. Like not this pain. I want to be
sharp
uncomfortable
recovery pain, but like a sore muscle,
And for the 3 months I was like that. I told everybody, don't ask me to go run. Don't talk about running. Don't talk about cycling in front of me, because it's going to make me want to go do something, and I shouldn't. I need to heal for the 3 months, and I did. I didn't do anything. I stuck to my guns, and I healed, and
good.
And it turned out great. So I've been doing well since then.
What limitations do you, other than you just obviously lost form like crazy? What do you have a limitation as far as like, hey, don't overstretch on this, don't push on that?
So
what are your guidelines?
He actually gave me no restrictions.
Oh, okay, great.
The way this healed. So they did. I ended up right before I got cleared, about 2 weeks before I had COVID and
you are
staph infection and another infection of some sort, and I was in the hospital then, just getting re-tanked up because any kind of GI thing and all that, puts me way down. So
at this point, you just have a plaque on a room. Is that what it is?
Yes, pretty much. Pretty
good flyer mileage.
I have my insurance is paid for a wing in that hospital.
Yeah, seriously.
And they looked at a CT scan. It healed perfect.
That's great.
Everything it looks really, really good.
That's so good.
I have a few little pains here and there, like on certain spots. I went and saw a pain doctor that I had a few injections put in there, and that's just the sutures are so tight in there. The way they did this surgery, there's no room for it to flex, and those sutures pull.
Yeah,
and that you can just kind of, it's uncomfortable feeling.
Yeah.
But there's really no restrictions now. When I start to feel things stretch and pull, like I did today in the pool, I have lifting on the schedule, but I'm not doing that yet. It's light lifting. It's, not anything heavy or high, big reps or anything like that. So, I told her that I need to hold off, until probably the new year. I need to keep stretching this a little more before I start really bearing down and working with that.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's like a range of motion more than it is strength, right?
It
Just
is.
try to get that range of motion moving.
I feel it more. So I felt it more on a trail run. I think the side to side, the core.
There's a little more. There's a little more torsion in your.
And then the swim.
Yeah.
On the bike, I don't really have the problem. Regular running on a road, no real problem. But twisting, your rotation in the pool and your stretching, your stroke has pulled on it, and then the trail run. But I've got some stuff coming up, so my plan going forward is just I really want to get better at the run. I think that's kind of an epiphany I've had. That I'm decent in the bike. I got a new bike. I only rode on it once. I rode it at RiverBluff, and that's kind of why I did RiverBluff, because I got that brand new bike. And I'm
you didn't start with that, Brandon. You got to lead with that. Well, I got a new bike. Oh, well, in that case, so you can have a broken hip and be on that bike.
Yeah.
So I had to race it.
Exactly.
Even though T1, I couldn't find it because I was looking for my old bike. I was like, where am I at?
28-minute transition.
I went past it like 3 times. Like,
has anybody seen a
this
felt?
is bad.
That's what I'm looking for.
It's blue.
So
that's all.
yeah, and
I think,
and that, and, you know, that.
Yeah.
But I think I realized in talking with my coach, I think running will help translate into a better finish for me, because everything I've done has been, it's kind of fallen at the end of the bike into the run, right?
You're strong on the bike.
Yes.
You've built up some good strength on the bike. So that's, you just needed to carry over and get that run.
Yeah. So
going.
I'm planning on doing a lot of volume of running early in the season, a lot of trail running. And to me, trail running is one of the best runs you can do because it forces you to be slow in that like zone 2 area. You know, in that up those hills, I don't run up the hills. I try to power hike them, try to keep my heart rate down as much as possible. And I think it just kind of forces me to be more grounded. When I'm running on the road, I'm just you know,
it also forces you to pick your feet up. I love trail running for that because you talk to road runners on a regular basis and they can't pick their feet up. And they say, well, they always trip on the trail. I'm like, well, because you're just barely picking your foot off the ground. I'm like, the lug of your shoe is going to catch something and send you sprawling. So you have to pick your feet up and you get stronger. So now your knees are kicking higher. You're actually better form. It's softer on your body. So it's a little easier. Right?
So Brandon, I'm sitting here like, you know, it's ridiculous what you're going through, right? And I think, you know, from a viewer perspective, how do you maintain that? Just keep moving forward, kind of like, how do you don't just go, you know what, I'm going to be sedentary. I'm just going to be happy. You know, like you said, you're already geared up for is that what motivates you? Is that what keeps you moving forward? Or if you have people that are, you know, going through a surgery, you're gone through 30. I mean, what do you say to those people? Just,
you know, early on in my surgery journey, you know, there was a lot of doubt. Like I think we talked about that before on the podcast. There was a lot of doubt there. But since I've gotten into this sport and these endurance sports, I feel like I've overcome so much with the surgeries, right? This almost falls into line with overcoming things.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't go through all this to do nothing, right? It's like,
yeah. And I feel like endurance sports is constantly a battle with yourself, right? It's a battle with your body, a battle with your mind, a huge battle with your mind when you're in it. And I think that's what motivates me, that I want to continue to, I guess I've just been living with overcoming things. Yeah. Like, you know, and that's just, now that I'm getting healthier, even though I just had a surgery and everything, but I am it's crazy to say I am healthier. The last 3 years I have been healthier. Which it's hard to explain, but I am. And I just want to continue that. And I think that's what motivates me, that I just want to continue to show that I can do things, to myself. Not only to my, you know, my kids and everybody else that sees me, but it's almost a motivating factor for me to try to motivate people too. Like, you know, like, hey, if I can do this, anybody can do this.
Yeah. Seriously.
You know. Exactly.
And certainly, and your kids especially. I mean, that you are, you know, a great role model for them to see what overcoming things are, because life isn't easy. Right. No. So it's a lot harder for some people, but you're always going to have to overcome something. So, I mean, you're a great role model for that. That's very impressive.
Yeah. I think there's a certain percent of the population that kind of, you know, has a surgery or a fallback, right? I tore an ACL and I guess that's the end of my, you know, that's the end of my triathlons. And it's like, no, it doesn't have to be. It may be different. Coming out the other side may be a different version of you. But you can still do that. Yeah, you may not be crushing PRs, or you may not be that same version of you, and you may have to train differently, where before you couldn't train. You know, you can train anything you want. So I think hopefully the takeaway for these people, you know, for people watching is like, or listening, hey, you know, it doesn't define who you are, that surgery. What it does is it does another setback, just like you would if you had a nutrition problem or a calf problem. Yours just happens to be quite extraordinary and kind of, it makes for a hell of a good story. But it's, it's the idea of pushing forward.
It's another challenge.
Yeah.
Right? It's another challenge that you just need to figure out.
Yeah.
And no matter if you get hurt or anything, it just adds a degree of difficulty to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, everybody has things, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
If you get into the sport, you're going to get injured.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, you're going to have something that hurts, and that shouldn't be, it just seems like
just overcome it, figure it out, how to move through it.
Overcome it.
Yep, that's cool.
Yeah. You've tested the mental side of it, the mental side of overcoming that difficulty, right?
Check
so
that
we're
out.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest challenge in endurance sports is like your mind sets you a trigger at a point where you go, I should stop. And you're the prime example of it, but your example of knowing that threshold is set so low.
Yeah, it's
and
very
that
low.
There's so much further you can go. There's so much deeper you can go before it really is an issue. And most people don't even once they tick that threshold, they just stop.
Yeah.
And then there's you who's taking it to another extreme because look, you've been through pain, like ridiculous pain.
Yeah.
And then, so endurance sports is almost easy at that point. It's just like, well, hell, I've done this before. This isn't that bad. I can do this. I can push through this. And that just helps you out on it. So.
And when I get into these things, and I've got some very long trail runs coming up, and I know that's going to be painful. I eventually want to get into the 50-miler range and then plus, and do some. The ultimate goal would be to do Lake Placid in 26.
Sweet.
With a lot of that's a lot of elevation up there.
It is.
So that's kind of, I think we talked about that last time.
Yeah.
What makes you just go for it's like go big and just figure it out and get through it, and that's just kind of I've just kind of been, that's my direction on all of these things, is just to try to keep pushing myself a little further and further, even though I probably I may not be ready there. And that's another thing that I think people get scared. They get scared to attempt it. They see that number and they're like, I can't do that. Well, yeah, you can. Yeah. You can. Anybody can do that. Yeah. You just have to put the work into it. Exactly. It's the journey getting there. Not, there's a big journey to get there. And
have a why.
So
what
does that look like? What's the training? What's the plan for next year for 25? Looking like that's going to get you to Placid in 26. So how are you building? How is Coach Sarah building you up for the? Well,
I handed her a spreadsheet of all of these races. So I told her I have this spreadsheet of these races, and she's like, okay. And then I told her that my plan, my thought behind this was to do a lot of volume of running early in 25, doing black toe with a set of a certain amount of distance that I want to go. I want to do a 50K there. I originally was going to do a 50K at Bell Ringer this December at Montgomery Bell State Park, but I'm only going to do the 25K, and that's only in 2 weeks, I think is what it is.
Even then, that one's a monster, by the way. So I did that one. It's non-trivial.
I did the 25K last year, and it was rough. So I actually think I'll do better this year. I think I know what I'm getting into, and I think I'll that was one thing, going into 25 and coming out of this surgery, that I realized that my heart rate, it bounced back like beautiful. Like
that's great.
My heart rate at first it was very high, but then it's settled. Like it's settled back to the same pace that I can hold the same pace that I was before the surgery. Okay. The thing that's getting me is the muscle fatigue. The muscles are just like my legs are just dead. They don't want to move. They don't want to, and that's, but going into 25, a lot of volume of running early. I'm going back to Chattanooga because I'm going to beat that place. This is my third attempt, and I am
keep
going
the
to
spokes.
beat it.
Is that the one we're going to keep the spokes intact? And
we gotta.
Wow.
Everything about I'm going to beat it.
So if you have an issue where it feels like something's dragging, you're gonna stop. You're gonna check it. You're gonna fix it, and then you're gonna go.
Yes, that is exactly what's going to happen.
There you go.
Because I'll just hopefully at that point I've got a lot of volume in the run, and the run I can pace it back, right? So and then during the heat months is all sprints. I thought about the Louisville again, but it's just I think it's too hot for me. Physically, I don't know if I should do that if I can't get my nutrition right when it's kind of cool. So I need to learn that nutrition when it's cool, and then work it into the heat.
Well, see, and that's smart. So you're not completely, you're not going into this thing like, torpedoes be damned, right? I mean,
no,
So that's
there is a theory behind all of this, like that. It might not be the right one, but
sounds pretty solid.
I think so. Sprints all through the summer, and then 2 late 70.3s, either Michigan and then North Carolina, or Augusta and North Carolina, or something like that. I haven't figured out yet logistically what I'm going to do, and then that will set me up for a 70.3 in the spring, and then Lake Placid in July, I think is what it is.
How exciting!
So that's the long goal.
Nice.
So,
and I think you're doing it right by ramping up for what is, a year and a half, almost 2 years out.
Yep.
I think that's the right way to do it. It's a nice build where you can build steady and not try to crank it out. So.
Yeah, and I don't plan on doing. I may do some short races like in there in between the 70.3 and but it's just going to be short stuff. It's not going to be anything that's going to really.
No, you just work on some speed.
Deep.
You just work on some speed and transitions. You just kind of get used to the race feel.
Yeah.
So that's not overwhelming when you get up to the big A race type of thing. And then the rest of your time will be putting in
just hours.
The hours, putting in the miles.
The miles.
Just putting the miles in.
Yeah.
That's the big thing, and just trying to figure out the time commitment and with the family and everything, because it is a time commitment. It's a commitment for them too.
It is.
My wife and the kids. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot for a 70.3, and it's even exponentially more. It's not just double; it's exponentially more, right?
Yeah.
It's not.
And when you're doing your first Ironman distance race, then that's the one that's like you're so focused in on stuff, and that's the one. That's the one that I think is hardest for everybody because there's so much unknown. I mean, at least you and your family know the training that goes into a 70.3, so they're a little bit familiar with that end of it, but the intensity that you'll be feeling just naturally putting on yourself, right? For the first full that's where you need to find the stress relief or find the ways to spend time with the family, that it's a little bit more mellow and you're not like, it's not all or nothing, right? It's finding the right perspective for it to know that you don't have to be so driven and so siloed to do it, that you've got enough training, you've got enough experience that you'll do fine.
Yeah, right? I'll get through it. And it's not about and that's the stress that I think you put on yourself, is like,
you put it on yourself.
Am I going to make it? Am I going to make it? Well,
Every athlete that I've talked to, myself included, that went through that very first Ironman distance race, it was all encompassing. Like that was all you could think about. Like every waking moment was about the training, about everything leading up to race day, and it was ridiculously obnoxious to poor Wendy. She was putting up with this.
And I'm sure that afterwards, I realized this with a 70.3, I'm sure afterwards there's a massive crash from that too.
Yeah.
There's a little bit. Especially because you're setting this thing up on a pedestal as this massive thing. It's almost like you need to put something on the back end, right? What are you going to do afterwards? What's the next race after that? Don't end your planning there. You need to fill it and know that, okay, I got a little relaxing, and then I've got a 70.3 that I'm going to knock out in 2 or 3 months. So you've got something else, because the letdown is huge.
Yeah, and it's not just it's the fact that your life has been structured 6 days a week, for months, right? So you spend, 9-10 months training 6 days a week, and then all of a sudden you're done, and you're like, what do I do? Do I run today? I mean, I could say no.
That's what I've realized. Yeah,
You know.
I've realized that I have to have something else afterwards.
Yeah.
If I don't have things lined up afterwards, it's why I get that. What am I doing this for?
Yeah,
Exactly.
And
exactly.
And I know people love to talk about that journey, but I love to race. I mean, I grew up racing.
Yeah.
Racing is that is my feeling. It's all about the race day. It's not so much about the training for me as it is the actual race day.
I think you'll find with like the 50s, like what you're doing with anything like long like that, right? A 50K, a 50 miler, an Ironman. It's one thing to do a half where you feel like you can push it, right? It's like, okay, it's sub 2 hour marathon. Let's try to figure out how to get that. I can do that. What's interesting, at least from a mindset perspective on Ironman and 50 milers, is you're there for the day. Like, you're not, you're trying to be efficient about what you're doing and you're trying to be careful about what you're doing. But hey, man, you're going to see the sunset, So in some respects, it's a little bit less pressure because you just know you're there for the day. You're not trying to rush it and I can do this in 5.5 hours. You're like, I just run through my progression. I'm here for the haul, right? So settle in, get comfy. It's going to be uncomfortable for, easily north of 10 hours, 11 hours. So same thing on 50 milers, right? You're not going to run really fast on a 50 miler. You're just going to settle into a nice pace and you run your progression. So in some respects, it's almost a little less stressful than a half because of this expectation on a half to try to, I got to beat my time. We're on the full.
I'm trying to do a sub.
Exactly.
Many hours
where and you're close to doing it because you can kind of get away with it a little bit. You're not getting away with it on a 50 miler or an Ironman.
I think that's what it was going into the first 70.3.
Yeah.
And my goal was to finish, right?
Yeah.
And that took the pressure off. I know I can walk the entire thing and I'm going to finish it. I'll be okay. This one hurt a little more because I knew I wanted to push it.
Yeah, you lean in.
Probably do better.
Yeah.
And then I didn't go out.
Yeah.
The way I wanted the Chattanooga. So I need to realize that, a race is a race. Anything can happen during the race. You just have to roll with the punches. And
run through the progression.
Don't let that, smack you down.
Yeah.
Because there's always another race.
There's another race. It's just one blip. It doesn't define you. It's that long length of time of your life. Yep. And this is one little tiny speck in it, right? So
listen to Tom. We're just mere sand specks in the beach of the universe.
The hourglass of time.
Wow. I feel like we need to light incense right now.
A little piece of quartz falling through.
I think Tom's going to come back with like an all, a kind of an all natural like robe, and it's like, what are we here for? What is?
If I could grow a beard, I would have a beard out here. But this is it, right? This is about all I got.
The journey of time begins with the first step.
That's it.
Dang, Tom.
It's all it. It's all it.
We're excited for you, Brandon. I think
nice.
you've got a nice. No one ever said I ran too much before they go into an Ironman or a half Ironman. Like, gee, I should have ran less. Like, I don't think I've heard.
Yeah, no one's no.
It's
all about the run.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed, and I feel like it's all about the run.
Every race.
And every race, and I just need more of it. I need to learn how to actually do it.
That's a good point.
Keep a pace and hold it, and even after I'm already tired.
Yep.
And that's I need it.
Yeah. And that's the strength training part of it will help you stave off the fatigue and be centered when you're running. Mm-hmm. So that'll help tremendously. So doing some, squats and deadlifts and a lot of squats and lunges and that type of stuff really builds up that posterior chain and allows you to run solidly.
Yep. Lift heavy shit.
Whoa. That's good to know.
Just got to lift heavy stuff. It's what it is.
That's going to be my new shirts.
That's awesome. That's a good shirt. I kind of like that shirt too.
Definitely.
What are you doing? Lifting. That's Brandon. What are you doing? Lifting.
Lifting.
There you go, buddy.
So I say lift heavy things and put them back down again.
There you go. They go out and run.
Go on with that.
So
yeah. So that's it's crazy stuff, Brandon. But always impressed. Love talking to you. Love getting the stories and following along because you do such good mental game getting through this crap. So
it's fun to
really appreciate you sharing it.
Yeah, and every time we talk, like I've got issues I'm going with, and it just it puts it in perspective. Like, hey, that's interesting. Oh, your calf is sore. You're dealing with, trying to figure out how to 3 months of rehab so you can just go run. I mean, that's fantastic. So in the scheme of things, keep going, man. Keep inspiring people like us. So.
Well, thank you guys for letting me do this journey with you guys and explain it to you and explain it to your audience, because it's, it's not a norm by any means.
No, it's not.
But it's something that it may happen to anybody, right? You may get, and you don't know where to go, but have faith and just keep pushing. Because I mean, anybody can do it, even after massive issues.
Yeah.
So exactly. What's your excuse?
Yeah.
Right?
Setbacks and everything. Yeah. So it's all good. So thanks everyone for, listening in, questions, comments, send those in. If you've got questions for Brandon, let us know. Tag us. We're on Instagram and Facebook, and hopefully you're watching on YouTube or listening on any of the podcasts. Subscribe. We've got more of this coming. We've been a little slipshod here in the last couple months just because we've been busy and crazy, as everybody else is, I'm sure, as well. So next year we've got some great stuff coming up, and we've got some more this year as well. So hit the subscribe button. It'll be floating around here someplace. Keep following along. We appreciate everybody's listening and downloads and all that great stuff. So we appreciate you all. Kenny, Brandon, always fantastic. Great talking with you guys.
Thank you.
And for everyone, we'll catch you on the next one.